If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store.
Let's talk about this past Wednesday. And I was kind of wondering what was going on with that. And is Ric Flair siding with the Young Bucks? It's not surprising that Ric Flair, in storyline at least, isn't happy with his participation in this match. And I don't doubt that comes from real life. I'm sure when he was asked, there was some hope of getting into the ring, maybe some expectation. What's going on with this? How did you take this segment?
I took it as a little bit that they were real life, imitated, art's imitating real life a little bit here. All right. I feel that a lot of people are wondering, hey, where's Ric Flair? What's going on? This guy said I was going to be there every step of the way with Sting. And maybe there's a certain fan base that doesn't even want to see him right now. And I know he offended a few people on that Rampage taping by just being Ric Flair. But at the end of the day, I think they wanted to address it in some way, and they're turning it into a storyline. And here's Ric Flair going to talk to the Bucks. And to me, it's so funny because I heard recently people suggesting that The Rock might be a double agent just on the way he pointed his hand, how it wasn't quite, the one, which is so intricate, right? And it's so subtle. And it's so away from what we're used to with WWE. And is it going to happen? Is it not? But this to me just reeked of, oh no, this is Ric Flair acting like he's going to work with the Bucks. And then at the end of it, at the pay-per-view, I'm expecting there'll be a moment where they're going to ask Flair whether it's hand him a chair or something, and Flair's going to screw them over, and they're going to be like, that's why he's the dirtiest player in the game. And then you'll see Flair and Sting ride off together. Because to me, it's just, you can't, that's not what this is about, right? We're not cutting an angle where Ric Flair does a turn on Sting. Who's that get over? Who cares? You know what I mean? Flair's not going to do anything at this point in his life, So
during Sting's retirement match, nonetheless, this is all supposed to be Sting's moment, and now we're focusing on what's going to happen with Flair. In my mind, I was going to what would a Ric Flair Young Bucks partnership be like? Hopefully, it's not like the Jericho Cruise and Ric Flair comes out dressed like the Young Bucks, because that would be hilarious looking. But does this make you any more excited for Revolution? Does this add any mystique to you? To me,
not for me.
Seems like a weird move.
No, I mean, maybe there's a certain fan base there. Obviously, Sting's been around for a while, so maybe you never know what people are into. This is a sidebar, but whatever. Keep this in. I put a question out the other day about favorite Hulk Hogan matches. And somebody responded with one of the matches I think he might have been trolling, but it was written so sincerely. Hats off to him. He was like, my favorite match was one we weren't even expecting when he surprisingly won the title from Yokozuna after Bret Hart got salt in the eyes. My whole ribbon room was jumping up and down. I thought, did that really happen? Because if so, that's kind of funny. Everybody complains. Everybody says it's one of the worst times, but this guy, I just picture someone in the house going, yeah, Hulkster, way to go.
Or think about it. That's just somebody that's so into wrestling that when you get that reaction that pisses you off or that you don't expect, it just brings out these feelings about it. And I'm more excited for the pay-per-view we're going to talk about later in this show than I am for Revolution. And Sting is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. So it's kind of weird not to be caring as much about that match.
Okay, so now, before we go on, I do want to say this because you got me interested. So really happy that Sting's getting this moment. I'm happy that when I look at AEW's poor attendance numbers right now, and I feel bad for that, I'm happy that I see all this tickets selling for Sting. Because that's clearly, okay. So even though the brand might be they want to see Sting. I'm happy with that. But, and maybe there's reasons for this, all right? And maybe it's because of his age and stuff like that. When I thought of a Sting retirement match, I didn't really want to see a tag match. And when I think of a tag match, I'd rather see two other legends or something happening. And if that's not possible, that's okay too. But then we already put the tag titles on them. That would have been a nice thing to finish up if they won the tag titles. Or, and now we're really nitpicking here a little bit, but if you were going to have to do one current tag team, one current legitimate tag team, it would have been FTR for me. So, and no offense to the Bucks, but they were really towards the end on what I wanted with a Sting final match. That's part of it for me.
Yeah, and speaking of FTR, I agree with that 100%. But what they're lining up for Revolution between BCC and FTR almost feels like, I'm not going to say good enough, but it feels like the next best thing we could get. Now, I hope there's a lot of tribute paid to Sting, maybe bring out some other legends since you're going to be in that southeast area.
Sure. Steamboat. Yeah, absolutely.